Welcome back, traders. It's your girl Kaia Trades, and today I took another banger trade, guys. I was super comfortable with detaching from the money, and I want to show you guys how you can practice doing that every day as well. Let's go ahead and get onto the chart, see the banger trade, and practice a new skill. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in just a second.
Speak on it and I make it happen. Want this one, is that one. Sweet ones, bad ones, double it, add some. Speak on it and I make it happen. Want this one, is that one.
Alrighty, so this is today's chart, completely blank because we're going to start off finding that market structure and how we even got to the point of taking the trade. All right, first things first, we're going to write our KT system at the top of the box here. I always trade with this on my screen so that I know exactly where I am, why I'm taking the trade. We're going to go back to the 1 hour here, and we're going to identify the market structure. Now, I've seen a lot in the comments of you guys asking how far back I go to determine the structure, and really I just go to a place where I can obviously see structure. We can obviously see that there's a low right here. We can obviously see that there's a low right here. We can obviously see that there's a high, there's a high, there's a high, there's a low. So I don't necessarily have a specific place that I go, but I definitely just make sure I go to a place where everybody in my community understands the structure that we're marking out on the page. We're also going to write our daily note at the top because we know that discipline and patience is going to give us our freedom. We need to be reminded of this because sometimes it may slip our brain. We may want to chase that FOMO trade, or we may get under disciplined or undisciplined and try to take a million trades. But we're going to follow our rules today because we know that this equation will give us freedom. So let's start off with that market structure. We can see a high right here, a low, a high that's lower than this high, so a lower high. We broke structure because we broke this low to the downside, so I have a bearish bias there. But look, guys, we came and we slightly broke above that high, and we made a higher low right here. This low is higher than the previous one, so let's go ahead and continue. All right, there's a high. We broke structure to the upside. A lot of times people will get a little confused. Okay, maybe I'm bullish right now, maybe I'm bearish. We can see overall the market has been pretty bearish, right? I'm gonna mark these out real quick. Pretty bearish overall. Okay, so this one break to the upside is not really going to psych me out that we're going bullish, because if the market is going in one direction and we get one break of structure, I want to see it break structure again for me to confirm, okay, maybe the trend is actually changing. What does that mean? I'm looking for, after this first break, instead of price continuing higher, I'm looking for price to continue to the downside. So we got that first low to break, confirm the trend is changing. I want to see another break to the downside. That a first and initial break could just be a grab of liquidity. We don't really know, but we can see the overall trend has been going down. So it's been bearish. So I'm going to stick with my bearish bias. And of course, we get this break of structure right here. Price again broke to the downside. We were not able to break above this high. So just like we were reading price is still potentially bearish in my eye. We were able to make a lower low. Guys, the high most recent to current price right now has not broken the most previous high. So I'm still going to have my bearish bias until price tells me otherwise. So on my 1 hour, I'm going to go ahead and write bearish. All right, my 1 hour is bearish. Now that I've identified my higher time frame trend, I'm going to work my way down to the 5-minute and see if we can get that same bearish structure. I don't do anything or look for any trades until my 1 hour and my 5-minute are in the same direction. If my 1 hour is going up, my 5-minute better be going up for me to look for a trade. If my 1 hour is going down, my 5-minute, that was kind of weird, but y'all get it. My 5-minute should be going down as well. So since we're still here on the higher time frame, I'm going to mark out the most recent high. That's my 1 hour high right there. Okay, and then we have the 1 hour low way down here. Boop, and the 1 hour low. And this would have been that break of structure to show us that the trend on the 1 hour is bearish still. All right, I don't see a supply zone because this would be that supply zone from the big push down. This wouldn't be either because it got broken through. So I'm really just done with the 1 hour right now. And now I'm going to head down to the 5 minute. Let's get a little bit closer to market open, which is 9:30. We have 9:30 right here. A part of my edge is following my rules, and one of my rules is to not trade before 9:30. This works for me because in the past, I have collected enough data to see, oh my gosh, trading before 9:30, right before 9:30, right at 9:30 works less for me than it does to just be patient and wait, okay? So now that we've identified the structure, oh, we lost our daily note. I got you guys. Bow, bow. Okay, now that we've identified our higher time frame structure, we have our higher time frame zones out, we're going to identify the structure on the 5 minute. How do we do that? Same path tool. You can find as well 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 column to the left and then all the way down to path. Okay, we're going to utilize this tool in the same fashion that we did it on the higher time frame. We have a low, obvious low right here, obvious high, obvious low. This low is higher than that low, obvious high. This high is higher than that high. But Kaia, this is bullish price action. Why won't I look for a buy? Because we looked at the 1 hour and the 1 hour is bearish. All of this bullish price action right here is just noise. When you know what you are coming to the markets to look for, you don't need to worry about the noise. So I'm waiting, price made a low. Uh-oh, price was not able to push above this high right here. Let's see if it'll give us a break to the downside. Of course, it did beautifully. We just had an example though on that higher time frame. If price is continuing higher and we get one break, I want to see confirmation of another break before I start looking for a supply zone. Okay, so let's delete this really quick and get it a little bit closer to 9:30. All right, now that we're a little bit closer to 9:30, let's see if price can come down and break another low to confirm with me that, hey, price really wants to go lower. If it doesn't want to go lower, guys, it won't go lower. I want to see this low be broken. All right, we're going to move this out of the way here, because we've already identified our structure is potentially starting to turn bearish. We'll update our text box if we can get a low to break. Let's see if we can get that. All right, here is market open. All right, you guys can barely see it, so I'm going to zoom in. But price did, in fact, go lower than the most previous low we were looking at. I'm going to move the market open. And look, clear as day, we can all see it together. Price came below this most previous low and what I consider to be a break of structure. But I know, Kaia, it's a wick. It's a wick. You can't count that. It's liquidity. And I get that. Shh. I hear you. I hear you. But hear me. Price had to come get some sort of liquidity to potentially, I don't know, come up to a obvious supply zone that we see. Do we see a supply zone there? There was a break of structure here. I don't see why there can't be a, look at this magnet. I can't seem to fathom why there wouldn't be a supply zone here. This is aggressive pushing down. Okay, so now I have a 5-minute supply. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So now on my text box, I'm going to update that not only is my 5-minute bearish, but we've got a break of structure here, confirmed that we were continuing to the downside, and we have a zone already written out. Once I identify my 5-minute is bearish, and I get a break of structure, yes, we update as we get more revelation in the market. Boom, at 8:15 this morning. Once we've created the break of structure, we've now created our 5-minute supply zone. That's not the text box I want. I want this text box. All right, and we all know from the previous videos that in a selling market, okay, that's when we use our supply zones. So inversely, when we're in a bullish market or a buying market or a going up market, we will be utilizing a demand zone. Okay, so a bullish, buying, or going up market. Demand zone. We don't have to worry about that right now because we are only talking about a bearish market. Bearish market right here. Boom. All right, so now that we've got the break of structure here, we've identified it a little bit clearer after the confirmation of the second break. Boom, immediately, still in the 930 candle, price came and tapped this zone. So I'm going to write on my text box, yes, at 930. Okay, at 9:30 in the morning, we got a tap of our zone. There's only one thing I'm waiting for now, guys, and that is a break of candle to the downside for sales way down here for me to enter the trade. Let's see what that's going to look like. You guys know I trade my live account and my Apex account. This is my Apex account. And guys, 148 points. I don't know who y'all think you are, but I know who I think I am. And I am not that type of trader who's going to risk more than 100 points on my live account. I'm just not going to do it. My capital's not there yet, but we're working to that point. And if we can stay consistent with this smaller amount, we will be prepared for that bigger amount. So now that we can see we have the stop loss there, I definitely did not take this trade on my live account. I did, in fact, take it on my Apex account. Let's see if we can have the next step to follow happen, right? We need a break of candle entry. We need price to come down here for us to enter. If it doesn't, I'm not getting in this trade. Oh, so it moved a little bit higher. So we're going to adjust that stop loss up there. But this candle also closed above this bullish candle. So we're going to adjust our entry point to now the low of this current candle. Beautiful. We're risking a little bit less than the last zone, which is 136 points now. Still too much for my personal live account. So I just threw that in the trash. All right, let's see if we can finally get an entry into this trade. Beautiful. You guys can barely see it, so I'm going to zoom in really quickly. You can see that price gave me a wick into this trade. So now that I'm in this trade, there's nothing left for me to do. I'm going to go ahead and mark out my one-to-one because that's the only thing that I'm going to do on my charts, if you guys can see that. The break of candle to enter was at 9:40, so we had to wait 10 more minutes before we could even get into the trade. Yes, at 9:40 a.m. price was able to give us an entry. So now there's only one thing left for me to do when I get into a trade, which this should already be marked out by the time I get into the trade. We have that whole 5 minutes. But last on my list is to take partials at the one-to-one and then move my stop loss to break even. Let's go ahead and drop that one-to-one so we can see where price will be. I think I used about 2 contracts on this trade. Not really risking my full risk of the day. Stay tuned. I'm going to tell you my big secret. All right. Boom. And we can see my one-to-one right there. Beautiful. Let's see if we can get to that one-to-one. On this trade again, guys, my normal risk is around $600. I'm going to give you guys the secret that I've been using time and time again during my trades to detach myself from the money. And that number one thing is determining my daily risk. If that's too much and you don't really know what that is, determining how much I'm willing to lose per trade. Me personally, I'm only willing to lose $600 on my Apex account per trade, not even just per trade, per day. So if I'm risking 600 on this trade right here, this is my one and done. This is my only trade. It's either going to hit my stop loss or my one-to-one and my TP2. Simple. All right, so let's see what happens. Okay, we got a little bit close to our stop loss there. It's all right. We was breathing. Patience pays. And guys, I don't think it tapped it right then. I think the next candle tapped my one-to-one. But look at that. One-to-one smashed. And so when my one-to-one gets hit, then I decide to move my stop loss to break even. Beautiful. And then I leave this running, right? and there's still nothing left for me to do. I've already taken my partials. It's already going to be an automatic green day. I'm not risking anything left. So I took a trade last night during Asia session, and what happened was this beautiful setup almost basically happened exactly the same. We had a break of structure to the downside. Price came back to the zone, tapped the zone. I got another break of candle to enter. And guys, it created another supply zone. Last night, price created another supply zone. I trailed really tight because I'm just trying to pass that top sip account. And I had already earned those profits. And price came to that other supply zone and smashed my TP2. I wasn't mad at my profits because, again, guys, my goal in order to detach for the money, I didn't tell you, but I'm going to tell you now, is to accept your loss. When you have a cap on how much you are willing to lose, the only thing you can control in trading and how much you're willing to lose on one trade, how much you're willing to lose in one day, then you can accept your risk and allow whatever profits you get to be great. Okay? So if I was risking $600, almost $600 on this trade and my one-to-one hit and I took off partials, even if it smashes my 1 to 2, I will not get the full 600 times 2 that I was looking for initially. But that's okay because my mind is not focused on how much money can I make today? How much money can I make today? How much money can I make today? That is not the right mindset to have when you're becoming a consistently profitable trader. If you want to become a consistently profitable trader, you must wear the hat of a consistently profitable trader. And they are not attached to the money. We cannot continue to allow ourselves to feel like so freaking bad when we take a loss. Losses are a part of the game. You hear that all the time. But how can you practice going into the charts the next time you get on the charts, accepting your loss? Simple as that. Determine how much you want to risk on this trade. And once you go into that trade, you must go in with the mindset of, I've already lost this money. I already knew in my brain, I've already lost this $600. Let's write that back out. By the time I entered this trade, I think it was like right here. By the time I entered this trade, see when it was coming up close to try to stop me out, that's okay with me because I've already risked it. I've already came to terms with me losing that amount of money coming into the trade. I'm no longer attached to the money. And I'm content with even just taking the 1-to-1 if it stops me out, which it did. I dragged my stop loss a little close today because of yesterday's emotions. So that's a whole nother conversation we're not going to talk about later. Whole nother conversation we're not going to talk about today. But I dragged my stop loss to kind of right here because I was taking my emotions from yesterday's trade, price coming back to this new supply zone and then coming down. And I was just like, let me just snag some profits because I want to make back the loss that I made yesterday. I did. I'm grateful for it. I'm up about $420 something on the day. Not 100% sure, but somewhere around that 400 mark. And guys, let's see, had I not brought yesterday's emotions. It stopped me out, obviously. And let's see if I had not taken yesterday's emotions and left my stop loss here at break even instead of trailing super tight and moving too early. Let's see what happened. Price never would have stopped me out. Okay. I wasn't mad at myself for moving my stop loss too early because I wanted the profits that I earned. I am more frustrated that I let yesterday's emotions dictate what I was doing. But at the end of the day, everything's a lesson. I journaled this trade. I'm going to go in tomorrow understanding that every single trading opportunity is a single unique opportunity. Okay. Yes, the pattern is familiar. The pattern is similar. It can be exact most times. But at the end of the day, every single trading experience is unique. Every single trading day and every single trading setup is unique and it's its own. Price yesterday came all the way back and pushed down. Price today never went back and pushed down. So tomorrow I'm going to go into the charts super confident, trusting my strategy, trusting myself, and following this to a T. And I won't necessarily have to trail super tight because we're at that almost that $5,000 level that we wanted to be at. So We'll start off next month super, super strong. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you've learned anything, comment what you've learned, tag a few friends, subscribe for more trading content. If you want to trade live with me, I go live Monday through Friday. I also host weekly check-ins and Q&As, as well as weekly backtesting sessions. If you don't know how to backtest, join me. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's take our trading to the next level. I'll see you guys in the next video.